train your Gavin. Read those books in a blink, oh yeah. Grab yourself a hot drink cause you're watching How to Train Your Gavin.
Yep, that's me.
Hey guys, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. Today I am doing my first ever book unhaul video. I haven't ever really unhauled books. I mean, I kind of have. I've given books away, or I probably gifted a book of mine to my niece by accident. But I've actually never done an entire video dedicated to unhauling books. I don't know why, but I seem to have a problem with just getting rid of books in my collection. I see them and they're mine, and even if I didn't like them that much, or if I've lost interest in them over the years, there's still a little part of me that's like, oh, well, what if one day I do actually want to read it? Or maybe if I give it another chance, I will actually love it. Who knows? But yeah, I need to sort this out because I have a space problem. So the main reason I'm doing an unhaul is because I've hauled way too many books this year, and this is not even going to make a dent in it, but it's going to be a good start. So I thought I would give it a try. I thought I would see if I could do it. Some of these are going to be really easy to unhaul. Some of them a little bit harder, I think. Saying that though, to be fair, there are still a lot of books in my collection that I don't think I will unhaul, even though I should, because I'm still like, oh, I really need to keep them for some reason. But no, these books that I'm unhauling first today is kind of just like my first step into the unhauling world. You know, you should be allowed to do it. If you don't like a book, or if you have lost interest in a book, it should be okay to just unhaul it. And I need to do that. I need more room for the books that I do genuinely want. Saying that though, I do have some books that I am definitely unhauling because the authors are transphobic. And I usually get a lot of hate on Twitter whenever I say trans women are women. So I will say it right now, trans women are women and they should be allowed to live their lives as the women they were destined to be. So I am going to delete any transphobic comments from the comments below, so don't even bother. So the first set of books that I am unhauling are my entire paperback Harry Potter collection. I do have my very original Harry Potter books. I've been gifted some of them by some family members who are no longer with me anymore. So I ended up buying all of these back in 2014 when they came out with these new covers. It was with my first ever student finance loan thing, which, you know, I still need to pay back. But there's genuinely no need for me to have these Harry Potter books. And obviously I do not stand with J.K. Rowling. I really do not agree with anything J.K. Rowling says when she is speaking about trans women. So I am not going to even show any of her books anymore in my videos. I'm never going to be talking about them again. This will be the very, very last time I ever talk about her books or her in general. She ain't allowed. She is banned from the videos. So yeah, I'm getting rid of these. And this will make a nice big hole on the bookshelf. Fortunately, I will be able to fill that with authors, middle grade authors who are not transphobic, so I'm getting rid of these. The next author is also transphobic, so I'm unhauling her books, and that is Anjali Kirov with The Boy in the Back of the Class, The Star Outside My Window, and The Day We Met the Queen. Anjali did make some very transphobic comments during a speech that she did last year at a conference, and I will link that conference speech transcript down below, and honestly, it absolutely disgusted me by the end of it. I will let you read that speech for yourself and make your own conclusions about it. So there is nothing transphobic about the books, at least from the one that I've read, which is The Boy Back of the Class. It does teach you about compassion and human kindness, which is fantastic, and I really did enjoy reading this book when I read it. But I cannot read it now or reread it now without thinking how hypocritical it is of the author who decides to show malice towards trans women. So these are getting yeeted. To be honest, I don't know where I'm putting these books. I sell them? To be fair, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want other people to read transphobic authors' books, but So those are the only two transphobic authors that I have on this list to my knowledge. The rest of these authors I am not saying are transphobic whatsoever, so please do not think that they are. The rest of these are just books that I need to get rid of, either because I didn't like them or because I just needed shelf space and I've kind of lost interest. I'm going to start with like middle grade, then YA, then adult. But anyway, remember, these are not transphobic. To the best of my knowledge, these are not transphobic. So please don't go at these authors, okay? One of them that I'm unhauling is The Midnight Hour by Benjamin Reed and Laura Trinder. I got this book in an OwlCrate Jr box back in February, so I don't need the paperback version as well, and I do want to keep the hardback version because it has a much nicer cover in my opinion. I do like this cover, but I much prefer the OwlCrate Jr cover. So again, this is just because I need shelf space and because I already own this book in another format. Then I will be unhauling Nevertell by Catherine Orton. This is not a bad book. I did like this book when I read it for Middle Grade Monthly back in February. However, again, I just need the space, and this is the last middle grade book. I could only unhaul the Transphobic authors books and then Midnight Hour and this book. This is all I could do. I cannot, not one part of me can get rid of any other books on that shelf. In the middle grade shelves are the ones that need unhauling because it's too ridiculous. I have way too much on there. So the only reason I'm unhauling this is because I just need the space. I would recommend this if you like a sort of polar fantasy-esque book. So yeah, that's literally the only reason I'm unhauling this. So yeah. Then into the YA books I am unhauling Infinity Sun by Adam Silvera. I really hated this book. It is so boring. Not just boring, but it tried to do something that it was not, and I hated it. Oh my god, I couldn't even say this was like X-Men because at least X-Men is good, and this, the world building, this did not exist in this book. Adam Silvera does not know what world building is apparently, and I didn't find it well written. It was very rushed over. It's supposed to be the start of a fantasy series. It was definitely more contemporary with fantasy and sci-fi elements, really. I just really hated this book. I just didn't like it at all. I did do a rant review of this. I will link it somewhere. But yeah, if you own a book that you rant reviewed for, get rid of that book. It is unhealthy. It is toxic to your relationship with your book. So get rid of it. Get rid of it. Also, if you're wondering why I'm filming in my bedroom, it's because a spider lives in my library room now, and I'm way too scared of spiders. I do have this humane spider catcher so I can catch it and release it in the wild, but the thing is I haven't seen it in a few days and I don't know where it's gone. So I am staying in my bedroom and filming videos until it is found and I can catch it and release it back into the garden because I cannot film videos in that room right now. It can't happen. So that's why there is a change of scenery today. Then I will be unhauling Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. This is filled with comments and stuff in, so I don't think I can actually sell this or donate this to anyone really. I kind of ruined it. But to be fair, this book ruined itself. I really didn't like this book. I also did a rant review of this as well, so I will link that down in the description box as well. I do think Becky Albertalli's a great person. I just really did not like this book. I thought it was shit. Even just looking at it brings up old feelings that I have towards this book. I thought I'd gotten over it, but apparently I haven't. This is so hyped and so beloved. Fair enough, but I just didn't connect with it at all. There was a huge glaring plot hole from literally the very first pages. This entire thing could have been avoided, and it just didn't. It didn't happen because the characters were stupid, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all, and it's definitely... is it the worst book I've read? No, I think Infinity Sun might be the worst book I've read so far. No, actually, it might be the next book that's the worst book I've read so far this year. Anyway, so the next book I'm unhauling is Later on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. Oh, I didn't want to read this anyway, but because I lost a game of Play Your TBR right, I had to read this one because I didn't have to, but I still did it anyway. Hated it. Again, I didn't think it was very well written. I hated Leah. I could not stand her as a character. She is absolutely deplorable. I did a review of this. I think it was in my June or July wrap-up. I will link that down below as well. It's in the same kind of thing with Infinity Sun, but I read them both at pretty much the same time, so that was a good time. But I just hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I can't say any much more about it because I just hated it. So I am really sorry to the people who really like Becky Albertalli. I really am. I apologise. I just didn't connect with her books whatsoever. And you are free to like any book you like, so just because I didn't like them doesn't mean I'm a bad person either. I'm sorry. Then I'm unhauling 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. I actually haven't read this. I did want to read this when I started watching the Netflix series. I watched the first 2 seasons and I liked them. I did like the seasons. Well, more like the characters. I kind of connected with some of the characters. But I've heard terrible things about the book and I just don't really want to give it a chance. I've had this for a while as well. I've had this for a little while. I don't think I'm ever going to read it at this point now, to be honest. I lost interest in the TV show. I have no interest in reading this anymore now. I just haven't really come across any good reviews recently, so I just thought, what's the point of keeping it? And again, I need the space on the shelves, so it's gonna have to go. So the rest of these I think are adult. The next one I haven't read, and I kind of am interested in reading it because I like the movie of it, and it's what made me get this book, and that is the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Sheffer and Annie Barrows. I kind of do still want to read it, but I'm not really feeling the epistolary novel style right now. And I think that's what it's called. But I did like the movie, and I think this is going to be so different to it, especially since it is told in the style of letters. But if you really like this book, do let me know in the comments. I am a bit split about unhauling this book, so please let me know. I usually hate movie covers as well, but I actually don't mind this one. I love Lily James, so having her on the book cover is not a bad thing in my opinion. But yeah, I usually do hate book covers that have the movie poster on them. I usually just really don't like them. But let me know if you think this is worth keeping, and I will most likely keep it because I'm weak. The next one I'm unhauling is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. You can see how long I've had this because it's literally yellowed pages. Oh my god, it's the state of it. It looks like I pissed on it. So I absolutely love the musical. The musical is like my favourite musical of all time. The songs from the musical are some of my favourite songs of all time. But this book, god, I think when I first read it, it was about 12 years ago. I think it was around about 2008. I had just finished school and I was going into college, and I was really feeling reading it. And I did. And at the time, I think I liked it. But over the years, I've realised how little I kind of liked it. It's really hard. I feel like I need to reread this for me to really make a good judgment of this, because it has been a long time since I read it. However, it is quite chunky, and well, I say chunky, it's not that chunky, it's only about 500 pages. But there are too many books on my TBR, and I don't think I would be able to give this a reread anytime soon, if ever. So there's really no point in me keeping this, because I do think my opinion of this has lowered over the years, and if I reread it now, I don't think I would like it as much. I think I was just riding the musical high, and that's why I thought I liked it as much as I did. I remember being really taken back by some of the adult content of this, like some of the dirty scenes between Alphaba and Fiero. Like I wasn't expecting it. I was kind of low-key living for it, but from what I remember anyway, and it's really weird, that's one of the only things I remember from this book too. Like, I mean, it says a lot about me, doesn't it? But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this book because, yeah. And I haven't heard any good things about Gregory Maguire's other books. I know this is like the first in a series. There is more to read in this world. I don't think I'm ever going to pick them up, so I may as well get rid of it. Then I am unhauling The Walking Dead Rise of the Governor and The Walking Dead The Road to Woodbury by Robert Kirkman and Jay Bonensinger. And I definitely read the first one. It must have been 10 years ago now, because when The Walking Dead first premiered, I was obsessed. Like, I was just obsessed. And I think for the first 5 seasons of The Walking Dead, I was so obsessed. And then I kind of just fell out of love with it, and I haven't seen a single episode since the season 6 finale. And I was getting the books, well, I got the first 2 books, and I think I enjoyed the first book, actually. I remember liking this book. And then I think I got halfway through this one and I just wasn't feeling it. And then I just fell out of love with The Walking Dead in general. So I don't think I will ever go back into reading these books. There is a big part of me that's like, but maybe I should keep it, because there might come a day where I really want to read about zombies again. But the day is not going to be anytime soon, I don't think. So again, I might as well get rid 2 for 1. Am I right? Then I'm unhauling Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I'm only unhauling the paperback version of it because I own the brand new hardback edition of it, and it looks gorgeous. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the new hardback edition of it. It has like this very retro gaming style cover, and it's literally just come out. And I think it will match Ready Player 2 when that comes out, I think next month. So I'm going to get rid of the paperback version of it just so I've got more space on the shelves, because I own it on hardback. I really did love Ready Player 1. I think I gave this 5 stars actually. I do really enjoy this book. I'm not getting rid of it because I don't like it. I'm just getting rid of it because why have 2 copies of it? And actually the next 2 books, it's the exact same kind of deal. So I'm also unhauling The Binding by Bridget Collins. This came out in paperback with beautiful purple sprayed edges. but I already own the hardback of it with purple sprayed edges and it's signed by the author. So what was the point in getting the paperback version of it? I actually do not know. You know, I hauled this in January and this was before my hauling got out of control. So I thought that I would love to own the paperback version of it because I do really enjoy the binding. I gave it 4 stars and I've just realised that I actually haven't explained any single book in this video and what they're about. Oops. I'm not going to start now, fuck that. But no, I did like this book when I read it. I found it very slow going to begin with, but I did enjoy part 2 and 3, and I like the writing style of it, so I'm going to keep my hardback version of it and unhaul the paperback version of it, because there is no need having both. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that. And then the last one, again, same deal, and that is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. I also have a hardback version of this, and this, I mean, I enjoyed this book when I first read it 2 years ago now, I think, but my memory of it is starting to slip now. I've read, like, so many books since then, and I don't know how I would feel about it now after rereading it, but from what I remember, I did really like it, and that's why I got the hardback edition of it. But there's no need having both again, so I'm going to get rid of it. I might give it a reread at some point, but yeah, if I do, it will be the hardback version. It won't be this version. So this is the last book I will be getting rid of. There you have it. Those are all of the books that I am unhauling so far. I definitely need to unhaul more because that is nowhere near enough to, you know, make a scratch on my collection and what I need to get rid of. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment. Let me know if any of these books you think I should definitely keep. I always appreciate your opinions, unless it is hate speech, then I don't want that. So I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye!